So the mission for today, Rome?
Yeah, the mission for today is to make changes to the Spring Plat Clinic, the very famous Java example, sample code, and make changes and do code reviews. It's like running a full software development lifecycle inside Visual Studio Code, and finally deploy this application and run it inside Azure, all in Visual Studio Code. So that's the mission for today. And we will do it. We'll have some introductions, as well as Rory will show all the demos to show all the details.
I will attempt to show all the demos. Let's categorically say live demoing, never easy.
Finger crossed. Okay. Well, let's go to the next slide. So these are the capabilities. You can see those steps with the blue text. That's you can imagine those are the critical steps that during a software development lifecycle. So you will be getting started. Those are the steps. You don't have to go through. You don't have to read all the text because you will see them in a few minutes. So we will take the sample code, the Plat Clinic, and go through all those steps. And Rory will be doing the demo. So I think we can jump to the first one. The first phase is to get everything installed. That's the get started. So basically, with Visual Studio Code, you need to install itself. And then what you need is actually the Java extension pack. That packs all the necessary extensions inside one pack. For example, the language support itself, which does the building and compiling. And then we have the debugger and test runner inside and some others. And of course, you need to install a JDK. Those three things sound like a lot. So we also have the coding pack for Java ready for you. This is a standalone installer. You can just run it, and everything will be installed. So this is how you can install everything. I guess, Rory, you can show everyone how this is going to work, right?
So I am going to pop in and out of the PowerPoint presentation, and then I've got the coding pack already downloaded, and you can download it from this URL here. You can go to code.visualstudio.com/docs/Java-tutorial, or you can just Google coding pack for Java, and I've got a Mac OS there. And then I downloaded this coding pack for Java. You accept the terms and the license agreement. You go next. And what it's going to do is going to scan your computer for the prerequisites. Now, the prerequisites is you need Java 11. You don't need Java 11 for all your coding, but Visual Studio of Java extension pack actually runs with Java 11. So you can see there, I've already got Java 16 running there. So it's really great. And it likes that. And then I've already got Visual Studio Code loaded in. So what is it going to do? It's going to install really nothing. So when I go install here, it's going to go through all of this. You would get a different kind of experience because it'll install stuff. It'll take a little bit longer to do that. Once I do that, then I go finish launch Visual Studio Code. You should see my screen here, and I'll get a blank screen here. You might also get, I have switched it off, but you might also get the getting started page. So you'll get here, let's go getting started. So you'll probably get the welcome or getting started page here. It will give you some insights for some quick starts, some code editing, debugging, FAQ. But we want to show you how to get started with your development kit, the Java development kit. So yeah, you can go onto your command palette here, and you can go into a new nice screen that Rome has created for us called Configure Java Runtime. And look at that nice screen there. And you'll get the project JDK, the Java tooling runtime, and the installed JDKs. And you can see there already, I've got installed JDK, and you can go and use adopt OpenJDK. You can also go into others, and look at that in nice new red letters there, the Microsoft build of OpenJDK. So that's the build that we recently made generally available. And if you go into your tooling runtime, now you can choose two different types of usage for that JDK. One is the language server. So this is an off-process server that sits not in your IDE that actually does the parsing for your code and all of the little kind of Java specific development actions you want to perform. And I've got it here. Now that's running in Java 16. So I get all of the latest Java language stuff but you can actually use your installed JDK as your default for your Java 11. You can see there I've got Java 11 there, my Microsoft OpenJDK. Now my project JDK is set up as Java 11 though. And how you set that up, you can actually go into, let's open up a file here. So I'll show you how to do that, but my JDK default for each project is set for your workspace and your project. And you can set that, you'll see when I load the project, I can set that default for my workspace and my project. But I've got my Microsoft Builder OpenJDK running, and I've got it also using for my language server. Next, I want to show you how to get started with a project. Now, the project we're going to use is the Spring Pet Clinic application. So you can go into here, and let's make that a little bit bigger here. And this under github.com/spring-projects/Spring Pet Clinic. So one of our partners is called Pivotal. VMware used to be called Pivotal, now they're called VMware, and they have a very nice project, and we're going to use that. So under that Spring Pet Clinic project, you can just go into code. Now I've got the GitHub desktop loaded there, so this is very easy to use. So you can go into, you can clone it off the command line there, or you can just go open up GitHub desktop, and you see there, then I can go into there. It will say, wow, what do you want to use? You want to use which branch? You want, where do you want to clone it? So I've already got it cloned locally, and then I can go view on GitHub, show in Finder, or open in Visual Studio Code. Now I'm going to use the main branch in the beginning, and then I'm going to go, when we do a PR, we're going to go into the demo branch. So I've got the main branch, and I'm going to open it up in Visual Studio Code. Wuck. And that would actually, if I close that, ooh, okay, that's why you don't demo live. It didn't actually open. Let's try that again. Let's go back into there. Oh, it did. That's the project there. There we go. It opened a different window there. So now I've got my Spring Pet Clinic application, and I've got my little Java file here, and watch what happens there. It says activating extension at the bottom, and then Java there at the bottom, and it's passing all of those Java files, and it's building up kind of a language dictionary with the off-process language server. And now once it's finished there doing all of the parsing, I can set my default, and you'll see there it's going to actually come back and say what version of Java there. Java 1.8, now that's the compliance. I can click on it there, and then I can go into there and I can configure my runtime and the defaults for my runtime. So let's go JDK. And there we go, edit and settings. You can see there I've got my JDK 11 there set as default. So I'm always going to do JDK 11, and I'm always going to use in that workspace as Microsoft the 11 JDK. So everything looks like it's working. It's passing fine. There's no errors there. And now the next thing that I want to show you is how you view the project. And I know you're thinking this is very easy, like I can view it, but there's actually multiple views you can actually have with the project. So the first view here, and this is called the kind of the Explorer view, the File Explorer view. You've got your exploded view of your project as you would see in your File Explorer. You've got your source folder, and this is a Maven project. So you've got main and test, and inside main, you've got your Java and your resources. So your Java files there is your Spring Pet Clinic application. Your resources are your HTML files. If you go into Java here, you'll see there that there's a owner, a pet, and a visit, because we're going to take pets and we're going to take them to a vet because pets really love vets, and we're going to go visit there. So these are all of these controller objects that are going to take all of your web page transactions and process them in a Spring application. This view here, like I said, is the exploded editor view, but there's a view also called the Java projects view, and this is really new. And this is very kind of like Eclipse-y. So I come from a big background from Eclipse. This feels a lot like Eclipse, and it brings me back to like 1998, 1997. And you can see here now it's actually linked into source main Java. You've got your class path setting here, so your JRE system libraries there, and also your Maven class path. So right at the bottom there, we've got our Maven dependencies, and you can see all of the Maven dependencies, quite a few here. And you can go through there and add your Maven dependencies, and that's picking up from the POM. And this is a great opportunity to see in the Java projects. And the final view that you get there is the Spring Boot dashboard. So if I see in the Spring Boot dashboard here, that's Spring Pet Clinic. If I go in and run that, that is actually parsing all of my libraries to look for a entry point for the view. And I can go into there, and then I should be able to see it has started fine. And let's just quickly view this before we go into the next subject here. And I want to go localhost 8080. This is the Spring Pet Clinic application here. I can go find owners and find my owner here, and you can see all of the owners here. So we've gone through, installed the coding pack for Java, setting up the Microsoft OpenJDK, cloning the actual project from GitHub, opening the project, and looking at the different views that you can have to see the different project characteristics. Back to you, Rome.
Mm-hmm. I think you just use a shortcut to open this project directly from the GitHub application, right? So if you're using Visual Studio Code, one thing I need to call out is that because Visual Studio Code is a text editor, so the way you open a project is to open this containing folder from Visual Studio Code.
Let me show you that. So I can go show in a folder here. So that is under dev spring pet clinic. So if I go cd dev, cd spring, cd spring dash pet clinic. So I've cloned it into there, and I can just go code dot, and it's in my path, and it's going to open it up. And there it is, exact same project there. So it's really integrated like a code editor, like a text pad or like a text editor into your OS, your operating system.
Yeah, it's a little bit different from IDEs, because in IDEs you go through the phase of importing your project. But this in Visual Studio Code, those projects will be imported automatically in the background. So that's the difference here, just to call out. And I think Rory already showed you the project view. Actually, you can do a lot of more things in the project view, like exporting your jars, exporting your class files into jars, and also rebuild everything, and also navigate through your packages. I think the next stage will be for software development will be inspecting the code. Can you go to the slide of inspecting the code?
I'm on my way. Oh, you've got animations and everything on here. I'm stealing the slide deck. Well, this is way too good. Okay, so that's the Project Explorer, which we've already got. And you can inspect your packages, run debug applications, and export your jars. Inspect the code. There we go.
Yeah, exactly. So in VS Code, a lot of features are not that easy to find. But I think the secret here is you right-click on the code, and then you see all those functionalities inside the context menu. Also, there are other ways. I think Rory will take us to a journey of to show all of those things, especially those are really commonly used, the go-to definition, and also type hierarchy things. Okay, Rory.
It's on to me again. Great. Okay, so let's open Visual Studio Code. And now we're going to stick with the owner controller here. So owner controller, and the owner controller inside here, it's located here. Now the owner controller is a class controller. It's got an annotation controller, and it calls the visit repository, the owner repository, to actually call the database calls for your object. And I would like to find out, okay, so it uses an owner. So you can see there, this .owners equals to clinic service, and then it returns under find. Let's go from here. Wait, there we go, process find form. So if you look for owners here, it's going to take in an owner, and it's going to return a result. It's going to redirect you to the page with the owner.getID. So what is this owner.getID? And I want to show you how you can do it. So first of all, you can click through the owner.getID, and it's going to find it there. So that's an owner. And then I can click through again, command click there, or I can actually right click and go to definition. So I can go to definition, and it will take me through to the owner class. Now the owner class there is an entity, so it's a database table, and it extends person. Now what does person do? Person extends something else. So I can go to person, and person extends base entity, and base entity extends serializable. And it's getting already kind of confusing. I want to see a visual representation for owner so I can understand it. So one click, I can right click, and I can go I can go show type hierarchy. So before I start, I can actually see exactly what is going on there. So I can go show type hierarchy, and now it's going to bring up a nice new view here, if it works, of the type hierarchy. Let's try that again. Let's go owner controller. Let's try find owners. Also try to find another class, because this is a live demo, so things will possibly not go right though. So let's go. There we go. Just needed a refresh. Now owner. Now you can see here, owner extends person, base entity, and object. And this is a new screen that Rome's given to me, a loyal Visual Studio Code user, and it really makes it great to navigate through the different entity hierarchies. So I've got owner here, and I've also got process find form. I can right click on process find form, and I can go to references. So go to implementations, go to references, and anywhere that is going to process the find form, it's actually going to say, well, that's no references here. So let's find a reference owner.getLastName. So I can click through owner.getLastName. Now we know it's in controller, so I can right click on owner.getLastName, and I can go to references. Now it's going to actually show me, and I love this view here. In owner controller, it's got now saying that's where it's going to get last name. And I can actually go into each one of these other views here, and it will show me every other view for owner.getLastName. I can also take this entire view here, and I can superimpose it into my main window. So let's go here and go find all references. You'll see there that I found all references here, and then I can right click and go and copy that where necessary. So there's a lot of options that you can actually use here if you want to navigate through that. I can also go into get last name. I can go get super implementations. So if I do have a hierarchy of implementation, I can also go peek call hierarchy. So if I go peek call hierarchy here, it will go through there and find out all of those references that I have. And the nice thing is here, check this out, show outgoing calls also. There's so many different ways that you can actually navigate inside your class. So that's show definition, type definition, implementations, references, super implementations, peek. Now the find commands are different. So find all references, and that will take there. You can see there will take it into your find view. So this is your find view, and then you've also got find all implementations into your find view. We've got show call hierarchy and type hierarchy, which we already showed you. The last thing I want to show you with the navigation. So we know get name, get last name, and we found it there. But you might actually want to search in text representations. And you can see there, I've got get last name here, and it's got all of those visual representations, but it can also search through comments. Or I can actually go in there and say you want to find it in a filter, so star.java. And it's a really powerful way to do that. And check this out. Once I do that, I can actually go in there and replace. And next, I can go open in editor. So I get a nice view here of all of the representation of all the last names here. And that way, I've got the once is my code. Sorry, the code navigation. So first of all, I can look through my code navigation. I can take that code navigation, put it in the find view, and also I can take the text representation search and pop it back into the view there. So there's so many different ways that you can actually do the search and the navigation through the navigating your code. And that's all I wanted to show you for that, for the inspect the code.
So whenever I take a new repository, the first thing I would do is to really inspect those code and to see what is going on, right? To learn the code base. So these features will help you to understand the code base very quickly. Let's move on to the next one. I think the next one will go to the code editing stage. For code editing, I think for all of those modern development tools, auto-completion is the most critical feature because it gives you suggestions, right? It's like JDK. There are like many classes and many methods in each class. You cannot remember all of them. So we have. It's like for developers, we really depend on this kind of features to really really do the job, right? So in VS Code, you got auto completion as you type, just like Visual Studio or other IDEs, or you can press Control plus space to force VS Code to show some suggestions. As you can see that we not only suggest those code snippets like you're writing a for loop or for each loop, we're also provide suggestions whenever you're using a variable from or instance of objects for any type. So I think here, Rory, you can show some demos here, right?
Yeah, no, this code editing and auto completion, this is magic. Like sometimes I just go into it and I just want to kind of like relax a little bit, and I would go into some code and just see what other people are doing. So I've got my results here, and now I can go for, and I can command, you can see that it already pick it up for each, for I, and for all of that though. But I can also go, if you want to check this out, I can go, oh yeah, okay. So that you saw there, and Rome asked me not to show that, but that is CoPilot. Now, CoPilot actually is telling me that a lot of people, and it's a new feature, you can see at the bottom there, I have it installed. CoPilot is telling me that a lot of people do model put owners results, and it scans 65 million repositories to actually see what the common variable is though. So if I go results dot and check that out. Now, do you know what those stars are? Those stars are the common usage. So the results is a collection. It's a collection of owners. Now, it's first going to tell me what most people use when they are calling a collection. Then it's going to give me all of the options that I can actually use my collection, the methods for though. So between CoPilot and this, I don't know if I have a job left, because I can literally say what they want. So I can see that most people stream it, or they use the size, and if I wanted to do that and by hand, I could actually do that and stream and size. But if I wanted to also know, I could just go models put owners results, and I found that so interesting. So when I go into my base class here for my PetClinic application, you can see there it's got Spring PetClinic, and then it goes run in the application. That starts up the entire application. Now if I take all of that away, right, and I go .run, you can see there it's got the star. And it's going to run my class there, and it's saying that's what most people do. But I take all of that away, and it knows what to do. CoPilot knows exactly what to do. Whoa, I'm just spoiled for choice. Look at that. Yeah, so that's the code completion. So Rome, let's go to the next one. That is I think you've got the next slide here.
Yeah, that's the refactoring. Because if you take on a relatively larger project, then refactoring is really, really critical, because you have to do a lot of systematic changes. So for refactoring, the entry is also consistent. You do it by right-click. You can already see from the tell from the screenshot that rename is so frequently used, so it deserves something like very significant. It has a special entry for rename symbols, or you can press F2 to do that. And all other refactoring features are actually under those the refactor item. So one thing before the demo, one thing I want to call out is that the refactoring features are actually context aware. So you will, by clicking on the refactor menu entry, you only see what's available in your current cursor position. So that's those items that you cannot be used will not show there. So that's some kind of difference from Visual Studio Code and with other IDEs. Maybe we can see some demo, right?
Yeah. And I want to do the drag and drop one. You forgot about that. The drag and drop will blow you away. So let me just make sure I haven't broken anything. So let's go source control, and I'm going to undo that before I get carried away from myself. So in owner controller here, I can actually refactor both the methods. I can go there and go refactor, and I can inline the method or move the method and other such. I can also refactor individual methods. So I can go extract to field, extract to method. move it there, and I can even refactor whole classes. If I go into my class owner class there, I can go refactor here, and you'll see there that I can move the class there. But watch something that Rome actually showed me, and I remember when he showed me this, I was blown away. So I'm going to go out of the owner, and I'm going to go into the vet. And vets have speciality. So speciality is like what do they specialize in? They might specialize in cats or dogs and everything like that. So I'm going to take speciality and I'm going to drag it to the owner the table here. So check this out. I'm going to drag it. Now you drag and drop. We do it often. And watch what the refactoring is going to do. I'm going to drag it into the owner package. It's going to say, do you want to move this? I'm going to say yes. Now it's going to scan it and it's going to say wants to make refactoring changes with the file move. I'm going to go show preview, and it's giving me all of the previews that it's going to change the packaging, the import statements, and move the file for me. I can go through each one of those, and I can go, yeah, I like that, and I'm going to move it there. Now my speciality class is there. And if I go into my source control, you see all of my classes have actually changed. Now the acid test is if I take speciality back into vet, I should have no changes in my git command because it's going to actually undo all of those changes and do this. So I'm going to move it back. I'm going to show the preview again. And now if I go move it back, I should actually see if no changes. Perfect. And that way you can work across packages and directories and move files to and from. And now with team collaboration, it's very difficult to kind of say, where are these files? What's going on with all those views? Now it just works and it's just great.
Yeah. Or you can just press Command+C to just undo, right? With one. That works too. Exactly. Okay, so that's refactoring. Just like I mentioned, it's context aware. So if you want to explore more, you can just click on different locations and see what's available there. And for code editing, one other useful tool is code generation. Just like what you see on this list, you can generate test code, or you can reorganize all the import statements, or you want to override or implement some method that you extending your class is extending, and generate other code. So in Visual Studio Code, this concept is actually not called code generation, but it's called source action. So you can access all those options by clicking on the source action. I think the most used one is actually the organized imports, because you can see that we already assigned some hotkeys there, especially for Java developers, right? It automatically sorts your import statement and also fix those, maybe import the types that you didn't import, but you're using them in your code. So it automatically fix those imports. Okay, let's see the demo.
Okay, so let's go back to where we were. Let's go back to our owner controller, and we want to go owner controller. Now I want to generate some tests for this source testing. So if I right click here and I go source action, I can see organize imports, generate getters and setters, hash code, toString constructors, delegate methods, modifiers to final. So I've got generate tests here. So I can go generate tests. Now listen to how clever this is. It's going to pick up that there is a owner controller test. It's going to try and generate the owner controller test. I can click on yes, owner controller test, and then it's going to say to me, cool, what do you want to test? And I can test, and it will generate. Let's do show owner there. And I can click OK, and it will generate the skeleton for me for my pre-existing test here for owner controller test. So I've already got owner controller test here, and now if I go into my source control, what's actually changed, you'll see there that I've got now a new test there to go test show owner there. So let's just undo that. So you can really do a lot out of that. My favorite, what Romilly didn't mention there, is the toString method. So if I go into here and I look at the toString, you see that there's no actual toString method. So I want to generate a toString, but I don't want to do it there. I want to generate an owners. So if I go here and I look at owners, let's see if there's a toString method here. And this is a bit difficult sometimes to create. So I can go here and I can go source action and generate a toString, and it's going to say, I can replace it there. So I can go replace. And what do you want generated with? I can go address, city, pets, telephone, and I click OK. It's going to actually generate that toString for me, so I can actually print it out though. And this saves a lot of time though. So the source action is great, and you can play around with it. And like I said, sometimes I just want to have some fun. I go in there and see what are the new tools and toys that Rome has given us today. So let's undo that. And so that is the generate source action.
Yeah. So in this case, you might want to be trying something like the regenerative hash code thing. Right, because you might want a different hash code, different algorithms to as your hash code. This is also useful. I think we can go to the next one. I think we showed the necessary features for code editing, and the next step is you really want to validate before you deploy your application or distribute your application to anywhere, right? So here, while you're coding, all those problems like compiling errors or warnings will be reported as problems inside the problems the one. The good thing is that for each problem, there is probably something called the quick fix, right? We provide suggestions that so those errors or warnings can be fixed with just one click. We definitely have a demo for that, right, Rory?
We do. So under my specialty here, if I go back into specialty, you'll see that specialty actually implements serializable, which is it's a problem because you can see there it implements serializable. So you can mouse click, well, you can just mouse over, and it tells you what a problem is there. So redundant super interface serializable for type specialty, already defined in base entity. So if I go into command click into named entity, into base entity, you see there that it's already got serializable there in the hierarchy. And if I go into my problems, you'll see there that I've got a few nuanced problems there, but I've got under specialty.java, I've got there's the error there, and I can click on the error there, and I can just right click and go remove super interface. Bam, it just does it for me. I can also go look at the other classes there, and it's spell checking a lot of them. And then because I forced it to use Java 11 for Java 8 project, this Maven project actually, it's just warning me there, hey, listen, you're using Java 11, but it's a Java 8 project. You should be using JDK 8, but it's backward compatible, so I can use it any which way. So let me undo that, because I always like to start from a clean project there. So yeah, that's a great way. You can also go and mouse click there, and you see there that little light bulb. You can just go show fix, and you can just remove it there. So there's a lot of options there. You can also fix not errors, but compile errors. So if I go into vet, and if I look for a there, and I can change that to string, and then it's going to, whoa, error. It's not really liking that there. And if I go there, you can see type mismatch, cannot convert from int to string. And then I can right click on that, and then I can go change method type to int, and it will change it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is the errors and warnings and fix errors. Should we show them debugging? Let's go back into the slide deck, and you can show them current slide okay, we've done fix errors. So we've done, and then debugging.
Yeah, maybe a few more words on the light bulb. So on the light bulb, when you click on that one, you actually not only see those quick fixes, you can already tell that the refactoring is also there, right? So it actually is it is a hint to whatever is available as code actions or refactoring options, or you can even fix some errors here. So whenever you see a light bulb, there's hope, right? There's a shortcut there. Exactly. Let's move on to the debugging, right? That's the next slide. Yes.
Don't undersell this now. You undersold the refactoring. You really need to. Yeah, this blew me away. When you showed this to me, Rome, I was just blown away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the most important aspect here is that is the fact that we actually have refactoring support inside Visual Studio Code, because a lot of users are actually complaining about that, because just simply because of it's buried in all those other entries on the context menu. So for debugging, it's easy. Just press F5. This F5 is actually inherited from Visual Studio, but you can set it to just press F5. And then you can use the debug and run, but this violet to inspect all the variables, to show the values of variables, and also, of course, working with your breakpoints. And there's also a nice visualization of all the call stacks and threads in your application. And of course, you can control the execution flow using the debug toolbar. One thing to highlight is that you can see a thunder icon there on the far right. This button is to apply hot code changes without restarting your application. That's the hot code replace. Imagine you have a very large application that takes like many seconds or minutes to start. You just don't want to restart it like often. So when you are developing something, you make code changes constantly, right? So this feature saves you a lot of time restarting, but you can just see how those code runs just by applying to a run instance of JVM. So that's the cool side of it. Let's get into the demo. I bet you have a lot to show. Yeah.
I've got that secret that you didn't mention, which now I'm very keen in showing them, because this was the secret weapon. Okay, so let's go into the owner controller, and we want to go into the find form one. Yeah, that's one. And then I'm going to put a breakpoint on if owner.getLastName equals to null. So basically a null check to make sure that that's not going to break. So I'm going to put a breakpoint there, and you can actually put a conditional breakpoint there. So you can put an expression. I'm not going to put that right now. And then I'm going to go into my Spring Boot dashboard that you see there, and I'm going to click, I can do F5 also, or I can just click debug. Now it's going to bring up my Spring controller. It's going to know where and how to start my application. And let's go into well, it started up there. Yeah, there's our debug console. Now I'm going to go into my little browser window here, and I'm going to hit refresh, and it's now broken on get last name. So if I go back there, it actually is now clicked on find owners. There we go, and it's broken on find owners. And now what Rome didn't show you is, look at that. It's got inline variables for my owner object. So if I can mouse over my owner object, and it'll tell me everything there. But I can also go, and if I step over, I can see all the inline variables as they actually show me. Look at that result set. I think I have two processes running right now, because I think I started it twice.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like stepping through twice though. But look at that, results and array lists and size equals 10. Now that array list and 3 to 5, that's a memory address. But I can go into results, right? And then I can go variables here, local, and I can go results. Now on results there, I can switch off the toString object view. I can switch it off. And now the next time I go there, it won't actually give me that view there. It'll give me my custom view there. And I can go back there. I can go enable toString. It's busy reloading again there. I can also go show qualified names. So full qualified names, hide static variables, disable logical structure view, and then it can also disable toString object view. So now all I'm going to get there is just the actual object in memory though, because I've disabled everything here. So you've got your local variables here. I've got my owner, my results, my model results. I've got my call stack, which I've started it twice. So I'm going to have I've got two call stacks here, which is very funny. And then I've got my watch. If I want to put a watch in a variable, I can actually add a watch variable there. So I can go owner. like that. And you see there, it can actually watch it, so you can customize your owner variables. I've got my breakpoints here, so I can do on exceptions or owner controller. And then I've also got my step over, step into, and I can do hot replace there. Yeah, so it's not going to find any change classes for hot replace there, but I can, if I wanted to, just go enter there, and I can hot replace that. And yeah, it's there. It should actually replace it eventually if I wanted to play around with it. And then I can step over here or step into or step through. Let's stop that out here. Yeah, so it's a great opportunity to see all of that, and it's a really nice kind of rich experience debugging now, because you get all of those different views, the variables, the call stacks, and the inline variables here, the refactoring that you can do with the hot swap. So it's as powerful, it's as quick as a code editor, but as powerful as an IDE.
Yeah. Thank you, Rory. I think we have two more things to show. One is to do the team collaboration, because we just gone through the stage of validating your application, and now we need to send out the PR to our colleagues to ask them for feedbacks, right? Is this working, or is there any problem within the PR? So Rory will be creating PR, and I will be reviewing it.
Okay, so this is there's a lot of moving parts here. So Roman and I looked at how to do this. So if this doesn't work, then it's not my fault. So this is what we're going to do. So we've got on my GitHub desktop here, I've got another branch that I'm going to swap to called the demo branch. Now I'm going to take that demo branch, I'm going to make some changes, and I'm going to push them to the main branch. Now, this is actually on my fork, so it gets a little bit hairy. So the Spring Pet Clinic application, I can't modify. It's VMware's application. But I forked it over to my GitHub repo called Rory P. Now, under Rory P, I've got the main branch, and I've got the demo branch. And I'm going to say, Romney, you own the main branch, so you can approve my PR. But I've got my developer branch called demo that I'm going to make a change to, and then I'm going to push it through to you. So I'm going to, here's my demo branch here. Now I can actually go open in Visual Studio Code. And if I go into open in Visual Studio Code, it's going to open it up into my demo branch here. So I can check that. And let me go into my readme.md. And I'm just going to make a small little change there in readme.md. And I'm going to say there, hello, Rome. Hello, Rome. And then basically just do that. Now, if I check that in, I can go, this is for you, Rome. This is for you, Rome. And readme.md, I'm going to check it in. Now I'm going to push it to my demo branch. But I'm not going to push it to Rome. I'm going to do a PR to Rome's main branch. So then I'm going to go push. And if everything's working fine, then I should see that on my GitHub repo. So if I go into Spring Pet Clinic here, so let's open up the new window here, Spring-Pet Clinic, and I want to go into, there's way too many views. There we go. I'll make that bigger here. Now, if I go into my Spring Pet Clinic, you see there that I forked off there. And if I go into my demo branch here, I should see my commit there 44 seconds ago. Now it's going to say, hey, now you can do a pull request. So I can go, I want to push it through to Rome so he can actually approve it. So I can go compare and pull request, and I'm going to create a PR. I'm going to say this, and I want to do let's just close you there, demo branch, and I want to push it through to Rome's branch on main, not to the actual pivotal VMware branch, because I think that they'll be a little bit upset if they see it. So I'm going to go demo to main. This is for you, Rome, and then I'm going to go create a pull request. Now the pull request will be created, and Rome's going to show me exactly what he sees in the pull request there. So it's already created. Now you can share your screen, Rome, and you can tell us what you see on your side.
Yeah. Let me know if you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Now you can see from this little icon, this little avatar, I can see that your pull request is already here among the others because I'm busy, right? Anyway, let's expand to see what's inside. So this is the PR made by Rory, and let's review it. You can see that he made the change and added this keyword with this nice little div field. And in the description part, we can see more details about this one. So here inside the Visual Studio Code, I can actually approve this one. I think it looks good to me. Look good to me. And then let me just approve this one. Okay. And that's done. I can it's okay if Rory want to merge this pull request himself, or I can do it myself. So that's how you can actually view this pull request inside VS Code. I think in VS Code the advantage of doing the pull request inside the code editor is that you can see you have a way richer diff view, as well as you can see whatever all the code in your inside the same repository, and do some navigation, right, to find what is changed, and also all the types, all the information related to the changes. So that's the beauty of doing the code reviews inside the code editor. Yeah, back to you, Rory.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Thank you so much, Rome. And next we're going to look at, well, Rome's going to talk to me about going to the cloud. Let's just close all those windows here. And where's my PowerPoint? There we go. And back to you, Rome.
Yeah, the final step would be deploy this application to the cloud. So inside, you can see from the screenshot that we have a bunch of Azure focused extensions from the managing all those resources like resource groups, and as well as all different kind of instances, from app service to VMs and functions, database, Spring Cloud, you name it. We have a lot of Azure extensions already built for Visual Studio Code. So today, I think we're going to show you how we can deploy applications to a app service instance. And because inside that we have extra supports, like you can stream your logs and manage GP connections, and also scale as you want inside VS Code. I think we want to leave some time for Q&As, but let's run this demo really quickly. Okay.
Yeah, so I want to show you a little hack. So Rome said you can do it from Visual Studio Code. You can also, but I want to show you, I've got my application. I'm going to show you how to do GitHub Actions, because I did promise you how to get it to Visual Studio Code with GitHub Actions. And what Rome didn't show you also is that we've got JBoss and Azure Spring Cloud support for the Visual Studio Code also there. So I'm going to go into app services here. I'm going to go create my app service here. Now I've got my Spring repo here. So I'm just going to take and copy that. Rory P. Spring Pet Clinic. I'm going to go create a new resource group here. I'm going to call that Pet Clinic Rome. Okay, I'm going to call that Pet Clinic Rome for my instance name. Use code, runtime stack. I'm just going to choose Java 8, Linux. I'm going to choose West Europe, because that's as close as I can get being in South Africa. And then I've got my look, those V3 servers are so beautiful. Now watch this out. Next deployment, and it's going to do GitHub Actions. So I'm going to create a GitHub Actions, a CI/CD, automatically from my Pet Clinic application. I'm going to say Rory P. And then the repository. Remember the Pet Clinic application there? So we can go there, Pet. There we go, Spring Pet Clinic. Branch. Now look, it even picks up, I can do the demo or the main. We're going to do it main. I can preview the file. If I preview the file there, you see there that it's building with Maven. It's using Java 8, and then it's using a publish profile to actually go in and publish it, and review and create. And that's all you have to do to get your application into Azure. And then I can click create. And it will take about 2 to 3 minutes to actually run and execute. But I've got this already running on my application here. And then I can go into Azure. So I did it beforehand. And then under app service there, you'll see there that not only do I have app service, I've got database, storage, Azure Functions, Spring Cloud. So I can use Spring Cloud. And this now, I even set up a JBoss instance. So you can see there, I've got Spring Pet Clinic there. And I can right click and I can go start streaming logs. Let's go start streaming logs. Let's just cancel that. And I can go start streaming logs. And this is a Spring application that I did beforehand there and it'll connect to my log stream the logs there for me, and give me all the insight for all of the applications. I can also do the same for Spring Cloud. And that over there is a JBoss application. So I can go into my Spring, and these are all pretty new there. And I can scale up my Spring Cloud application there. I can go scale settings, and I can scale it straight from Visual Studio Code. Instance count there for that instance there, and I can go edit that, and I can go just scale it up to 2 instances, and it's going to scale up my admin server to 2 instances right there and then. So that's the Azure little window there. So you've got all of those instances, app service, functions, storage, virtual machines, databases, and Spring Cloud. Let's go back to our app quickly there. So I can just go click create, and that'll come back. Maybe after Q&A we can see did that come back and finish the little applications. So yeah, I think we've got just enough time for question and answers though. Rome, back to you.
Yeah, I think next slides will be some materials that can, as follow-ups, you can learn more about the whole thing today. I think we can open for questions right now, because we have like 5 minutes left.